Hi guys and welcome. Today is Saturday, May 31st, and hopefully I am showing up live. It looks like I am. We'll see. All right. So I wasn't going to do a video today, but I figured I might as well. And I'll tell you why. My stamp set has a little bit of a malfunction on it. All right. I called Stampin' Up. They're sending me a replacement. It's not here yet, so I decided to go ahead with the video anyway. But on my tree trunk, when we go to stamp, you'll see that there's a little bit. I've worked with it since talking to Stampin' Up to see if I can get it in a good state for today, but we'll see. All right, so Peaceful View is in the new annual catalog. It is a standalone stamp. It's a background, so it's huge. All right, so I'm going to show you different ways to use it. If you have a glass mat, like I do here, you can just put it down your glass mat and you can ink it up. Let's ink it up in one color. Let's do Early Espresso. So this would be a case where maybe you have a background or you want to just put something on top of it. So, oops. So you're going to go ahead and ink up the whole thing. Now you can use a platform like your Stamparatus, which is retired. I know, it's gone. Or if you have like a Misty or any other sort of stamp positioning tool, you can use that also. All right, you're going to see right here where that little discrepancy is. See how there's that little nick there? So let me grab a piece of white cardstock, put it right on top, and then go around and rub it. I find this is the best way to do it. If you have some sort of cover sheet or something you can put over the top, that also helps. I usually like using a folder and just rubbing for the most part this way, and then coming back in and going like this, making sure you get all over that. And you might get a little bit messy. See how I did get some of that brown on me? All right, let's go ahead and bring it up. Ooh, and see I got a little bit too much in there when I was doing that. But that is how you can do it that way. Now you can see that little nick in the tree trunk. Now if you have, oh, what do they call these? I have these for watercoloring, a stub, blending stub. So if you have a blending stub, you can always just go straight. Stampin' Up doesn't carry blending stubs. The only way we watercolor, excuse me, in Stampin' Up, excuse me, in Stampin' Up is with our blending brushes. But you could take that blending stub and you could just dot in there with your stamp pad. And pretty much cover it up. Now I did get a little zealous there, oops, and went over. You can see now where that is. See, now there's a bump on the other side. So, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Let me take a sip of water. I took my chemo pills right before we started, so I don't know if one of those is actually getting stuck in my throat or not. All right. It's also, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Also bad weather in the Chicagoland area. So, well, not bad weather. It's gone from warm to cold to warm to cold, so sinuses are playing a factor too. This is the cloth that came with the Glass Studio. All right, so I'm just rubbing it off. Let me find my cleaner. Where is my clean? Oh, I just used it, so it should be out here somewhere. right in front of me. I usually don't like using the cleaner and my cloth at the same time. You can see how it foams up like that, but we'll do okay. We'll go in there with the drier part of it and we'll get that moisture out. You can also use your Stampin' Scrub or your chamois. All of them work good, but I think this just works the best. Because usually my chamois anymore are dry. I usually don't have any sort of wetness on them because I really use that cloth from the Glass Studio mat the most. Okay, so now here's the next thing you can do. Let me go ahead and bring this out. This is the Stamparatus that says retired. Like I said, if you have a MISTI or something along that lines, you can go ahead and use that. The only reason that I don't like using this is that I feel like I get an edge. Let me go ahead, because I'm going to go like right there, and I'm going to put the stamp right in the corner though. This is just a corner thing that, let's just take it off for now. Let's just put a little bit of Stampin' Seal down. Now I'll go ahead and put it right in the corner there. All right, now we're going to place this on top and pick it up. Now I don't have any sort of mat underneath here, so we'll see if that causes a problem. If not, I might have to restick it. All right, so then I usually start with a pretty light base color. Let me go ahead and grab my soft seafoam, and we'll just do this as a base. Sorry for the noise. And this time I do see that extra film, that extra ink there, so I'll get that off before we stamp. All right, and let's see, a little bit of a light rub, and we'll see if it touched well. Let me get over here. All right, a little bit okay. Let me get down here. I think I do need to have one mat in there. All right, so that looks okay for now, right? There are some pieces we didn't get, but we're not going to leave those as green anyway. So now, let me just dry this off with the dry cloth. We're going to go in, and you can use your spots, you can use your finger daubers, you can use whatever you feel best. So let's go ahead. I will grab my finger daubers. Oh, and of course they're behind my blocks. Let me see if this is the one with early espresso. Yes, so there's my early espresso. And now let's come in here with this. And we'll put some color down. Now we're going to do a couple of iterations of this. So it may not look great the first time, but it'll eventually get there. All right. And we're going to go right over where that was and right over that. So you can see we're starting to get that color out there. Add some more. Let's just start there. And let's go along that fence line. Now if you don't want that bird, you can go ahead and use a cloth. Again, that's another place where I'll use that stump. Oh, here it is. So I'll take away color with that stump. All right, and I don't really like how that blended out there, but we're going to put a green over it, so we'll see how it looks. Now let's concentrate on that fence a little bit. Get that bird off there. All right, so there we have the fence. All right, and then we can go on with our greens. Now, since the green is so predominant, I'm going to grab garden green. Oh, let me grab this and get some of that color off. There we go. Let's start first with that grass down here. This for just a bit because I want to get this off of the fence there. Now, you're not going to, when you do it this way, it's not like the markers where you can color on it. I mean, you probably could. You probably could color on, let me get my garden green. Here it is. Let's blend that out a little bit. You could use the markers and exhale, but I don't find with an area this big that it really works that great. Alright, so then you have the grass there. You can go in and do your little individual grass pieces here. Now here's where you probably could use your marker. Let me grab my garden green and just go ahead and color in those little areas there. Do not use your blends. Do not use your blends. You cannot use the blends on a stamp. It is alcohol based and it will not do this. You can see how I'm just going along here on the smaller areas. And there you're getting it. You're starting to get it. And then you can use, again, oops, in different iterations because you're going to be layering this. So here's one amount. And you can see how it's starting to build out now. And then to get those areas that maybe are missing, you can go back in with your marker on small areas. So like you can see right here, that's not coming in. So let's go ahead and go on marker there. You can see right there. Go on marker there. So it's good for a small area. But overall for the big area, I just don't feel like it works as good because I feel since it is so big, you could color it and then exhale on it, but it is a large area. All right. So that's how you can do multicolor stamping on it. Go on that. The other thing you can do is you can, let me clean this off. And then we'll show you the last. I'm not going to have an examples with video per se. I will probably make some cards and maybe do a quick 1 to 2 minute one. But with this, since the background is so large, there's not a lot of variation you can do except for what I'm showing you here is the different color variations. All right, so let me go ahead, bring out my chamois and get some of that wiped up. You can also, like I said, use your Stampin' Scrub. Mine is down here. Then again, when it's a big stamp like this, I feel like my individual, the little pieces, because I had many Stampin' Scrubs. So I feel like just the loose one is better for getting out those nooks and crannies. All right. So last thing to show you, we will be done with the Stamparatus now. Let's go ahead and take another piece of cardstock, and you can build your background on this. So let me bring down magnets. Get out your blending brushes. So I'm going to do brown, green, and maybe blue for the sky. So let me get Azure Afternoon, Pecan Pie, and let's do an Old Olive. How about that? So here I'm going to kind of color in the backgrounds where I think the items will mostly be. So you can see here, oops, can't put too many markers, too many magnets beside each other. So the blue is going to be right through here. So let's go ahead and get some blue throughout here, a little bit down there, a little bit up there. All right. Then let's go ahead and take the brown brush. Now the brown brush we know is the fence and the tree. So let's go ahead and do a little bit here. It looks like that's about the fence line, and a little bit here. All right, I know it doesn't look like much right now, guys, but it will look better in a sec. And then we have green everywhere else because of the tree and the grass. So let me go first with the tree part up here, and it comes around here. Going into that brown. And then we have the green down here. All right. I think we're about ready. Let me wipe away that ink. And we're gonna, again, this is a little bit sticky, so we're gonna put it there. We're going to ink this up with our, I think we'll do Basic Beige. I think Basic Beige is just a little bit lighter than Crumb Cake. You want a very light look to this. So here's Basic Beige, going all over. Twist it a little bit so you don't get those solid lines by twisting it a little bit. And I've only done this once, and I did it with Versamark, and I did not really like the results. So we'll see how it works with Basic Beige. Put it down. You know, I'm just going to put the washcloth over. You just want to make sure that you're not moving your paper. So you always have one hand, there, one hand that's, oh, I went down in the paper again. You want to keep it smooth. You always want to have one hand that's not moving and the other hand that is. And I went down in there, so we're going to have a mark. Let's see how that looks. And look how that turned out. So, you know what? Maybe what we'll do tomorrow is I won't do another technique, but maybe we'll take these cards and I'll show you, yeah, we will. We'll show you different ways to use these bases now. And I might make a few more of these to look a little bit, like this one needs to be a little bit better. But we'll go ahead and do some techniques, how you can take, if you stamp a bunch of these all at once, how you can get it to be used in a card as your main focal point. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Have a great Saturday. Be safe. Bye for now.